G'day fishers, welcome to WA Fishing. Today I'm going to take you through octopus preparation, particularly for bait usage, making the bait look presentable so that way you can catch more fish. These little tips that I'm giving you on my channel, hopefully adding those little 1%ers, bringing you up to that better chance of catching your dream fish out there on the water. Also, as a bonus, I'm going to take you through how I prepare pickled octopus. Now there's a lot of recipes out there, granted. This is not the best recipe, it's a very basic recipe, but it's very popular with my family and friends, and hence why I do this way. You can build upon it how you like. Hope you enjoyed the video and gained some great information from it. Alright, we're going to take you through some ockie preparation. So I've got a bunch of ockies. I've sourced them from a local pro. Normally I get in and get wet skin diving for these in pots and things like that, but unfortunately I have not much time with work, I'm sure you can appreciate. So it's about 20 kilos there of fresh ockie. Quite some big ones. In the winter months you get the bigger ones like this, and these are the ones I like using on my bottom meats for dewies, the big ones. Bigger the bait is my mantra. I'm sure you're starting to pick up on that. Anyways, I've got some vac seal bags. I like to vac seal them after I've skinned them. Skinning is important because all this skin, as you can see, it's quite loose. It can balloon and then cause your bait to look unattractive to the fish down there. So here's a perfect example from one of our previous videos. Now you'll see here, it's ballooned with the skinners, like I said. Cut that stuff out. It's not what you want. Fresh is best, and I've got these fresh today and straight out of the water to me, and I'm going to skin them. Right, so how do you do that? Well, these are all beheaded as well, if you haven't noticed. What I tend to do is cut from the center. And then you can basically roll it away, each tentacle from the center. Then once you get through, it's basically like skinning a fish. Now, if you're not fishing for kgs, you can clip this tip and you can put that on your micro meats or whatever you got going for kgs and etc. But yeah, it's up to you. Let me just get this last little bit off. Right, so that's one perfectly skinned bit of ockie, so there's no skin under that at all. And it's good to go. So on to the next one. So you see it's starting to roll away. And once you get all the way through, slide it down. Now I do believe there's better techniques with, I believe you can use sand and abrasion, but to be honest I'd be keen to hear people's techniques that are quicker. As you can see, 2 ockie legs in best part of 20 seconds. Yeah. So I hope this helps you guys when I talk about skinned octopus on my baits when I'm out in the water. This is what I'm talking about. A bit late because I've had to work today. So these were sourced out of Coburn Sound for those who are interested. In my opinion, best time of year is now, just as we're entering winter. The ockies are bigger. That's 4. Now I know this takes a bit of time and some people do it out in the water, but in my opinion I like to spend less time on the water preparing things such as bait, rigs, terminal tackle, rig it up sort of stuff, and spend more time with my bait in the water. So you want to make the most of the time out on the water. So here's a little piddly one. It's obviously been injured. This one's always a little bit harder. Okay, last 2. And the last one is usually the easiest. And that's 8 plus a beak, I'll cut that out. 8 perfectly skinned octopus, ready to be used on your bottom bashing for dewies or whatever. This stuff I generally just put in the compost. Bury it in my garden, sorry. But I'll put it in the bucket for now. And then I'll vac seal my occy legs. How many you put in the bag is up to you. Generally speaking, I'll get 2 baits out of each of these locky legs, so these are massive. So, more than enough for a whole day's fishing. So I'll vac seal that up and should be good to go. You're welcome. Today we're going to show you how I make pickled octopus. Now this is how I make it. There's lots of different ways. People give you lots of recipes online. This is the most simple base recipe, and from there you can explore, add more ingredients, different flavours and so forth. So without further ado, let's get into it, eh? This is one of my favourite foods that I like putting out when I have friends around, even just a snack on, quite a healthy snack as well. What you'll need really is some octopus. So these are ones I got the other day, and I've got a skinning video of how I skin them for bait, but these ones aren't going to be for bait, so you can leave the skin on. Now you can do 2 options before as preparation. First one is you can smash these against concrete or the floor when they're fresh, and that's to tenderize the tentacles. I'm lazy and I can't be bothered doing that because it does take about half an hour or so, and what you'll notice is the tentacles get rather long, so probably 2 to 3 times the length once they slacken out, and that's how you know the muscles are tenderized. The lazy way, and I think it's an Italian way actually, I'm not too sure where it comes from, but you just freeze it, and the water molecules, as they expand during the freezing process, they break down and tenderize your meat as well. So I've left these to freeze for a couple of days, and I've taken them out, and now we're going to make some pickled octopus. So what else you'll need is some spices. I just use a pickling spice because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered, but you can add all sorts of whatever you would prefer. Some water, so I've got about 1 litre here, and about 2 litres of white vinegar. You can use red vinegar, you can blue vinegar, green vinegar, who cares? As long as it's vinegar, that's all that matters. Now you can either do it in a pressure cooker or you can do it on the stove. I prefer a pressure cooker because it takes much less time, but if you do it on the stove, expect to be boiling these octopus in the pickle for at least a couple of hours, or depending on the thickness I should say. Anywhere from 90 minutes to an hour, 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on the size of the octopus that you're pickling. All right, so really all it is adding some water. So I've got about 1 litre here, just enough to immerse your octopus in, so it's fully covered. So I've put probably about 600 mils of that. Just 2 parts vinegar roughly. It's not a science experiment, so you can do whatever you like. As long as it's rough enough is good enough. So that's about 1 litre. I'll go a bit more. Alright, let's see how that immerses the octopus. Alright, got some salt, just add a pinch, I don't know, tablespoon, half a tablespoon, something like that. Again, not a science experiment. And the octopus. So I've got 3 little ones here, so that's 1, 2, and 3. And just make sure they're immersed, as you can see there. Might add a bit of more vinegar. So 2 parts vinegar, 1 part water. Okay, and we'll add some of these pickling spices as well. When I mean by some, I mean a lot. Cool. So, oh, vinegar. All right. So, looks kind of messy. So we'll put that on high pressure. And I'm going to give it an hour and then come back and then see what it looks like inside. Alright, we'll see you back here in an hour. Alright, time's up. What I've got over here is a mix of 2 parts water this time, so opposite. 1 part vinegar, a little bit of salt, and some herb and spices. Add a bit of garlic powder. You can add fresh garlic if you like. Cayenne pepper for a little bit of bite. This is your main flavouring component. It's not actually what you pickle it in. It's, well, I should say not what you pickle it in, because this is the pickle. What you've been cooking it in, but what you're going to be leaving it in. That's going to be absorbed into the actual octopus itself. Alright, well let's depressurise this. Almost finished depressurising. Waiting for it to pop. There we go. Alright. So, we'll just test if it's ready yet. Some of the things you want to look for is I'll show you. So I'll cut a tentacle off. Or 2. Okay, so what I like to test for is just tenderness. Ooh, I think I went a little bit far with this one. So maybe 45 minutes was enough for this size Ockie. I will admit it's been a while. So take it all out. And we want to stop the cooking process. So what we'll do is we'll go rinse this under some cold water. Alright, so what you want is the Ockie to be a bit chewy but at the same time tender. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but somewhere in between. I guess whatever texture suits you. There's no real rule to this. So I've got a chopping board and I'm just going to rinse them off, cool them off. And you just rub down and all the tentacles and everything comes off. You can see how tender that is. Okay, so you just do this, rub all the skin off, all the tentacles, suckers, the whole lot, and you should get nice clean Ockie legs, such as that. So it looks something familiar to that you get in the jars, I guess. So I did this for an hour, but I think maybe I should have been a bit conservative. I think this is a little bit too tender, but it doesn't matter. It's not like it's falling to bits in my hands. Excuse the noise, my dishwasher's going. And no, I don't need my wine. Alright, so just continue to do this till you've done all your Ockie tentacles. Then I'll show you the next step. Now if you got a larger Ockie and say you've done it for an hour like I did and it's still tough, just give it a bit longer in there until you like the texture of the octopus. Now it does stiffen up a bit in the fridge, so don't be too concerned if it feels a bit soft. The bigger octopus tend to be harder to cook evenly, hence why I do it with the smaller ones, because the bigger ones, the thicker parts tend to take a bit longer, and then the skinny end of the tentacle gets overcooked. So I do prefer the little ones. Alright, that's all the legs. Alright, now I'll take you to the next step. Okay, we have the mix of 2 parts water, 1 part vinegar, bit of salt, herbs and spices, whatever spices you like, whatever flavourings. Yeah, just do whatever you like. There's no rules for this. Alright, then with the octopus you cut it into segments that you would like. You can put them in whole if you like. There's no rules again. Just chuck them in. This is a sterilised jar. You can see how tender that is. Actually it's not overcooked at all. Thought it was at first. I think some bits maybe. So total time so far for preparation is probably an hour. Well, these are great additions to your party. Or you can just eat it watching a movie. It's delicious. Alright, once you've filled your jar, then you just add your herb and spice mix. And cover them all. And then you just whack it in the fridge. Now, I would give it at least, I don't know, a week in the fridge to absorb all the flavours that you put in, and it will taste so much better after a week in the fridge. Don't eat it straight away. I know you might be tempted, but just trust me, a week in the fridge, then give it a crack, and it'll be awesome. And I don't know how much you pay for this down the shops, but I do know it's quite expensive to buy. If you can get in the water and catch some octopus and some occy hides, dive on them, or you can go dive around moorings, any sort of debris in the water, you'll find them. And that's it. So here's the finished product in the jar. Again, leave it in the fridge for at least a week. So that concludes our video. If you liked what you watched, don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, we have got a Facebook page and an Instagram page. If you'd like to see more content. Sorry about that, that's my dog. Just going out his doggy door. But yeah, if you want to see more content, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. You can message me on those platforms and I can give you some more advice, tips, even cooking, as you can see. Thank you, fishers.